In this video, we're going to learn about reference variables in C++. So a reference variable is effectively an alias for another variable. So if we have a variable here, an int called a that's initialized to 5, we could make a reference variable b that is going to reference a. So we'll say int and b is equal to a. So the and here is going to make b a reference variable. And b now becomes an alias for a. So whatever we do to b, we'll do to a. So if I say b++ and we output a and we output b, we're going to find that both a and b have been incremented by 1. So we'll output b here, and we had set a to 5. But now we're going to find that both a and b are set to 6. And that's because b, at this point here, becomes an alias for a. So when we increment b by 1, we're also incrementing a by 1, because b effectively is a at this point. If we increment a, that's also going to affect b. So we save and run this, and now we'll get that a and b are 7. And that makes sense, because b is an alias for a. b is a, effectively. So that's why when we increment a, it's also going to affect b. Now, of course, the reference variable has to have the same type as the original variable. I couldn't say like double a and b is equal to a. If we try to save and run this, we'll get an error. So it does have to have the same type as the original variable. Now, references might remind you of pointers. They're kind of similar to pointers in that we use a reference variable to refer to and access another variable. And references are kind of like a more safe version of pointers, to an extent. Pointers are much more flexible. We can do more things with them, but references are safer, let's say. So for example, there's certain things we can't do with references that we can do with pointers. So we can't leave a reference unassigned. If I were to say here int and c, I'm trying to declare a reference variable called c. But if we save and run this, we'll get an error. So we have to initialize reference variables. And we also can't initialize reference variables to null like we can pointers. So I can't say, let's initialize the reference variable c to null. If I save and run this, we'll also get an error. So we actually have to initialize a reference variable to another variable. One more thing I can't do with references is reassign a reference. So let's make a regular variable c. We'll just say int c is equal to 20. And we'll save this, and we'll get a warning that c isn't being used. But we're not going to get an error now, because c is just a regular variable. Let's try to reassign our reference b to c by saying b is equal to c. If we do this and we output b, we might think that we've successfully reassigned b to now refer to the variable c. Because if we do run this, we're going to get b is now 20. But if we output a, we'll see what's really going on. If we output a, we're going to find that a is also 20. So we get a20 and b20. And what really goes on when we say b is equal to c is that the value of c is assigned to b. And because b is an alias for a, it's also assigning the value 20 to a, because b effectively is a. So we can't reassign a reference like we can a pointer. And all these differences between pointers and references make references safer to use. They do make references less flexible and less capable than pointers, but they are safer, because these differences effectively stop us from making the sorts of mistakes that we could make when using pointers. We can also make a reference variable to an array element. So for example, let's say we've got an array here. We'll say int array is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll initialize an array with 5 int elements. We'll make a reference variable now, ref. And ref is going to be a reference to the third element in the array at index 2. So value 3 here. And we could say ref plus equals 10. And if we output the array elements, we're going to find that that third element has been increased by 10. So here we'll output the array elements. We'll say cout array will output I is equal to, we'll output the array at index I, and we'll output and line, just output all the array elements. And if we save and run this, we'll get the values of all the elements in the array. And we find the element at index 2 is now 13 instead of 3, because we added 10 to ref, and ref is referring to that third element in the array there. Now we can also use references as function parameters, and we call that pass by reference. So let's make an example of a function that uses pass by reference. Up here, we'll say void increment, and we'll say int and x. And then in the function, we'll say x plus plus. So this function parameter is a reference variable, and we call this pass by reference. And the int variable that we pass to increment is going to be passed by reference. And that means if we change x in this function, like we do here, it's going to change the value of the variable in the calling environment, because x is going to become an alias for that variable. So for example, if we say now int m is equal to 4, and we call increment with m, if we output m after the function call, we're going to find that m is now 5. So we save and run this, and we now get that m is 5 after the function call. And that's a different behavior than the standard way a variable is treated when it's passed to a function. The standard way in C++ is what's called pass by value, where the value 4 would be passed to the function. In this case here, we're passing a reference to the variable m. That's why we're able to change m in the increment function. Now we can also have functions return a reference. So we'll make a max function, and the max function is going to return a reference to the maximum element in an array. So the function will have two parameters, the array itself and the length of the array, and we're going to return a reference to the largest element in the array. So we'll assume the largest element in the array is at index 0. And then we'll make a loop to examine all the elements from index 1 up until the length of the array. So in other words, examine all the remaining elements. And if we find an element that has a greater value than the element at the current max index, we're going to set max index to be that element's index. So if the array at index I is greater than the array at the current max index, then make that index the new max index. So in other words, we start off with the assumption that the first element in the array is the largest one. Whenever we find a larger element in the array, we make that the new largest element in the array by updating max index. Now what we'll do is return the array element at the max index. Now because we're returning a reference here, we're actually going to be able to access the element at this index using the return value from this function. So let's try it out. Down here now, we'll say int and max val is equal to max array 5. So we'll give the function our array as an argument as well as 5. Now the return value is a reference, and max val is going to be that reference now because we're assigning the return value to max val. Now if we output max val, we're going to find that it's 13. Because if you recall, the largest element in our array was 13. So we save and run this, and we find the max val is 13, just like it was before when we output the array last time. Now what we can do is update max val. So I could say max val plus plus, and then if I output the array again, we're going to find that increasing max val by 1 actually affected that element in the array. Because before it was 13, but then after incrementing max val, now it's 14. Similar to how we can have pointers to functions, we can also have reference variables that refer to a function. So let's go over an example. Here we'll make a basic function. We'll say int func int x, and the function is going to return 3 times x. So it's going to triple x. We'll make a reference variable that refers to this function, and will become an alias for this function. We'll say int and triple, and then int is equal to func. And the way this reads is that triple is a reference to a function that accepts an int as an argument and returns an int value. So down here now we could call func like this. We could say cout func5 end line, and that should give us 15 because 3 times 5 is 15. But we could also say cout triple 5 end line, and we'll also get 15 because triple has become an alias for func. So that's the basics of reference variables in C++. Check out portfoliocourses.com, where we'll help you build a portfolio that will impress employers.